France faced a massive nationwide strike on September 18, 2025. As trade unions and citizens launched widespread protests against government austerity measures. The unrest paralyzed transportation network, forced school closure, and disrupted healthcare services across the country. This demonstration marked the largest show of public discontent since President Emmanuel Macron's re-election, with organizers estimating over 1.2 million participants across major cities, including Paris, Marseille, Lyon, and Toulouse. The protests directly responded to former Prime Minister François Bayrou's proposed 44 billion franc austerity package, which include pension freezes, elimination of public holidays, and deep cuts to social service. Although Bayrou's government collapsed following the proposal's rejection by the National Assembly, his successor, Sébastien Lecornu, inherited the same fiscal crisis that sparked the initial unrest. The strike movement originated from an unusual coalition of public and private sector unions, including the powerful CGT, FO, and CFDT organizations. Their demands centered on reversing austerity measures, increasing taxes on wealthier citizens, and boosting public service funding. Union leaders presented the government with a September 24 deadline to address their concerns before initiating renewable strikes that could paralyze the country indefinitely. The protests turned confrontational in Paris, where demonstrators clashed with riots, police near the National Assembly buildings. Security forces deployed tear gas and water cannons to disperse crowds that attempted to breach barricades around government buildings. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin authorized the deployment of 80,000 security personnel nationwide, including 15,000 in Paris alone, to maintain order. The economic context driving the crisis stems from France's rising public debt, which has reached 115% of GDP despite previous attempts at fiscal reform. The European Commission had demanded France reduce its deficit to below 3% of GDP by 2026, creating pressure for immediate spending cuts. Bayrou's proposed measures include raising the retirement age to 67, eliminating 11 public holidays, and cutting healthcare reimbursement. Although these measures were rejected before implementation, their mere proposal triggered deep public anxiety about social protections. The new Prime Minister Lecornu faces the impossible task of satisfying both international creditors demanding fiscal discipline and citizens determined to preserve France's social model. Transportation networks suffered severe disruptions during the strike period. National Railway Company SNCF reported cancellation of 70% of high-speed TGV trains and 85% of regional services. Paris metro operations were reduced to automated line only, with minimal service on others. Air France canceled 30% of short-haul flight due to air traffic controller participation in the strike. The disruptions created logistical chaos for commuters and businesses alike, with economic losses estimated at 1.2 billion for the strike day alone. Hospital workers maintained minimum service but canceled non-urgent appointments, while 65% of schools remained closed as teachers joined the walkout. The political dimension of the crisis has weakened President Macron's governing coalition. Marine Le Pen's National Rally Party has capitalized on the discontent, calling for early elections and positioning itself as the defender of workers against technocratic austerity. Left-wing factions, including La France Insoumise, have demanded a wealth tax and increased public spending. Prime Minister Lecornu's attempt to broker negotiations with union leaders yield little progress, as both sides maintain maximalist position. The government's emergency proposal of a 2% surtax on income above 300,000 francs failed to satisfy protesters who demanded more comprehensive tax reform targeting large corporations and financial transactions. The international community has watched the French crisis with concern, particularly given France's role as a major European economy and permanent UN Security Council member. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz expressed hope for a quick resolution that respects both economic stability and social dialogue, while European Central Bank officials warned that prolonged instability could affect Eurozone stability. The strike movement has inspired similar protests in Belgium and Spain, where governments are contemplating austerity measures to address budget deficit. The situation remains highly volatile, with union leaders threatening to escalate action if their demands aren't met by the September 24 deadline, potentially creating the most significant social crisis of Macron's presidency. If you made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I would like to ask you a question. France is engulfed in nationwide strikes against austerity, with citizens demanding tax the rich, and President Macron's resignation, forcing the deployment of 80,000 security forces. Do you believe the French government's austerity measures are necessary? Let us know your analysis in the comments. Like the video, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.